The sins of a lifetime are all rendered null when one worships at the Kelaniya temple once. The Kelaniya Maha Viharaya, or the Kelaniya temple, is located just 10 kilometers from the capital of Colombo. Located on the banks of the scenic Kelaniya river, this temple is adjacent to panoramic vistas of the countryside. Kelaniya is an ancient temple that has its history going far back as 543 BC. It is popular folklore that the rise and fall of the temple has been associated in history with the fluctuations of political power in Ceylon. The Gautama Buddha is said to have made 3 visits to Sri Lanka. The third was to the Kelaniya temple. The Mahavansa records that the original stupa at the Kelaniya temple, built by the king of the time, enshrined a gem-encrusted throne on which the Buddha sat and preached the Dhamma to the Nagas. The temple flourished during the Anuradhapura period, though there are periods where no records of any events which occurred have been chronicled. During the Polonnaruwa period, the kings Parakramabahu the Great and King Nisankamala both contributed towards the upkeep and improvement of the temple. The temple fell to ruin during the 1215 CE as a consequence of the country being invaded by a South Indian prince. This situation was reversed by King Vijayabahu III when he defeated the prince and recaptured the country. King Vijayabahu III and his son Parakramabahu II restored and reconstructed many areas of the temple. The temple again saw its rise during the Corte era and its fall during the Portuguese occupation of the country, where many religious places were destroyed or stifled. The temple lost many of its lands during this time. However, again, during the Dutch occupation, the temple saw its elevation through new lands bestowed by European rulers, as well as reconstruction under the patronage of King Sri Vikramaraja Singha. The temple was extensively refurbished in the 20th century. Through the philanthropy of Helena Vijayawardena of Sedavatavalau. It was her son, Don Walter Vijayawardena, who was the founder of the Durutu Perahara. This Perahara, which commences from the temple, is celebrated on the full moon day of January with much pomp and pageantry. The procession is led by the Datu Perahara and followed by the Devale processions. The most visceral aspect when one visits the temple today are the beautiful paintings by the local artist Solius Mendes, who through 20 years of painstaking work atop scaffoldings painted a stunning set of murals. These depict important milestones and events from the history of the Gautama Buddha and the beginnings, rise and progress of Buddhism. It also has imagery culled from the Jataka tales, a voluminous piece of literature native to India. What is outstanding is the artist's departure from vivid colors and his mastery of blending various shades and hues through a color palette created from a concoction of herbs, roots and barks of trees found in the island. The Kelaniya temple has been constructed atop a large granite boulder. The architecture, a splendid example of Buddhist art, is a 3-tiered one. The first row has swans, the second row Bhairavas with extreme expressions of distaste, and the final row has several Hindu deities. The main temple is set out in several sections. The first is the Alut Viharage, new temple house. This has been built in a Kandyan architectural style and has 4 image houses. More recently, a 6-meter stone statue of the Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara has been erected and is used for veneration by devotees. The only Mahayana deity that has entered the worship of ordinary Buddhists in Theravada countries, such as Sri Lanka, is Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara. The Kelaniya Maha Viharaya awaits the visitor in the busy metropolis of the Kelaniya area. From the calming courtyard and boatry with thousands of devotees lighting oil lamps to the temple interior with murals painted over a century ago, this temple has stood by the banks of the Kelaniya River for almost 2,500 years and will amaze and inspire you in equal measure.